or motility gel deep. It's needle staff. Yeah. Sorry. All right. There. That takes care of that one. So the next one is incubation. When you're making cupcakes, you stick it in an oven for 31 minutes at 350 degrees. You read the box. That's what it says. So that's what this means. After you put the bacteria in it, at what temperature and how long do you cook it? And the answer is, there's two phrases. Every card will have the same first phrase. According to the optimum temperature procedure. Optimum temperature procedure. All right. Now, does anybody remember the optimum temperature procedure card? It's already made up on your list, but all it is you get two nutrient auger slants, and you take a loop and you make a line. It's the only slant that you make a line on. One of them, you put in that incubator at the back that says 27. The other one, you put in overnight at 37. So you write 27 on this one, you write 37 on that one. Stick them in the incubator overnight, come back and look at them the next day, and the one that grew the most becomes your optimum temperature to run every other test. So which one of these grew the most?
37.
37. What if you come back, see if anybody remembers their procedure card. What if you come back and you can't tell the difference? Anybody remember their procedure card? Optimum temperature procedure card? The default is 37. If you can't tell the difference, use 37. So you use the one that looks the biggest as your optimum temperature. If you can't tell which one's the biggest, don't ask me. Use 37. All right, so is there anyone that doesn't know how to figure out what temperature to run all your tests at? Anyone confused? I promise I won't make fun much. All right, yeah.
So what do you mean by use the biggest? The number?
No, the one that spreads across and looks the most profuse by looking at the tube.
So what if we can't tell? There's only 27 or 37?
Yep. That's it. There's actually 42, 54, and 13, but none of those are pathogens or anywhere near human things, so we don't use them. Because remember, if you can't eat it, can't make money off of it, it doesn't make you sick, we don't care. Okay. All right, now, how long? And there's only two options of how long. No drops equals 7 days. Check every other day. So,
those temperatures are in Celsius, correct?
Yeah, always. On this one, does it say anywhere about adding any drops? No. It says it's given to you this, you inoculate it, you stick it in, you cook it. It doesn't say anything else. If you look at the other tests, some of them say cook it at 37 degrees for 7 days, add 7 drops of reagent A and 7 drops of reagent B, mix, hold it up against white paper, evaluate and discard. All right, so we're saying if you don't have to add any drops to it, if there are no reagents in the discussion page, then how long do you inoculate? How long do you cook it?
7 days.
7 days. And when do you look at it? Every other day. So in other words, you would inoculate it on Tuesday, and when you came back on Thursday, you would take it out, mix it, hold it up against white paper, and if it was yellow, you would write fast positive and discard, and you would look for a bubble or not on this one, remember? Yellow is positive. So if you see yellow, you just, on Thursday, you pull it out of the incubator, you mix it, because remember, they settle, and if it's positive, you write down fast positive, because it's the first time you've read it in 7 days. This is a nice book, and this is the way it really looks in the real world. Okay? So that's not hard, is it? What if the cupcakes are not done. You stick it back in. So if it isn't yellow, what do? On Thursday? Put it back in the oven. That's right. And you check it on Friday and Saturday. That's why after our midterm, we meet every Friday and Saturday, because if you did your experiment, you'll be checking it on Friday and Saturday, or you have your lab partner mix and check it because of how hard it is. Would you please go and mix and check my paper? Oh God, that's too hard. That takes 10 seconds. So you come back on Friday or Saturday and you mix it and you hold it up against white paper. If it's yellow, you write down moderately fast positive, because that's the second time you've checked it. Now, if it's positive, what else do you check for? Gas or not? What if it's orange still? The cupcakes aren't done. What do? Stick it back in. So you come back, and a week from when you inoculated, the Tuesday after the Tuesday that you inoculated it, you take it out, you mix it, you hold it up against white paper. If it finally is yellow, you write slow positive. And you check for gas. If it is positive and it doesn't have gas, you write down slow positive without gas. If it does have a bubble, you write down slow positive with gas. What if it's still not positive? You write down negative. You're done. Get rid of it. So here's a test question. If your unknown has both, you don't have to add drops, but it does possibly turn gaseous if it's positive, how many options of answers do you have? All right, so you would have fast positive with gas, fast positive without gas, moderately fast positive with gas, moderately fast positive without gas, slow positive with gas, slow positive without gas, and negative. So there you have 7 options. Everybody see that? Okay. It's not hard. Now,
Can you please repeat the question again? The
how
same
many
question.
how many possible answers are there for something that changes color with gas? The answer is 7. So, that's how you read this. Now, just for this particular experiment, not for the other ones, remember, cautions and comments. Sometimes there's an exception. Oh my God. How do I know? You read. If you read this, you'll learn. Has anybody ever been to one of those meetings where they say, "Hi, my name is Donald Hicks and I'm an alcoholic"? Well, guess what? Tubes can be too. Bacteria can be alcoholics. That's where we get ethanol, which is vodka, which is good. All right? So, there is an option on this test for pinkish white with gas. Why? Some bacteria don't ferment the carbohydrate to an acid. They ferment it to gas and alcohol. Since it isn't turning acidic, it's not going to change the pH indicator to yellow. But it's going to make carbon dioxide, because that's what yeast and other bacteria that make alcohol do. So remember, there is actually an 8th option, and that's alcoholic. Whitish pink with gas is recorded as alcoholic. Okay, so that's no drops. What if you add drops? The answer is you cook it 7 days, add the drops, mix, evaluate, and discard. So by reading these, if it says methyl red reagent is added, a half a dropper full, mixed, and if it turns yellow, it's positive. So how long would you cook that test? 7 days. And when would you add the drops? After 7 days. So anything that it says, add blah, blah, blah. Add 4 drops of this, 5 drops of that, mix. Then how long do you cook it? 7 days. Do you ever check it? No. You stick it in there 7 days. 7 days later, you come back, you add the reagent, you mix, you hold it up against white paper, you record the color, you just get rid of it. There's only two options. If you don't add drops, you check it every other day for the right color. If you do add drops, you stick it in there and just leave it a week. Come back, add the drops, record the color, and discard. That's it. There are only two options. Now, when you read through these, you'll see there's a few of them that says, don't cook 7 days, cook it 48 hours. There are a few exceptions, like litmus milk. Anyone smelled rotten milk? You never smell rotten milk? Okay, is it nice? No, it's not nice. Try spilling it on the inside of your Toyota carpet, which is what my mother did this summer, in 101 degree heat. Months afterward, the inside of that car smelled like rotten milk. To keep the lab from smelling like rotten milk, we just run this one 48 hours. So it'll say, litmus milk, don't run it. It changes color. You don't add any drops. So please don't run it for 7 days. It smells like shit. Read it after 48 hours. And the urea, it says, reverts after 48 hours. If you revert, what does that mean? Goes backwards. So it will turn positive, and if you leave it in there more than 48 hours, it will go back negative. So that one is one. But, yep.
I have everything done. I think I need to turn it off. And that's fine.
Okay. On this one?
You're just right.
On the micro one?
I don't know what's what.
Yeah, micro one, you just go to the micro one class. Start me just 1 second. And just change that number. Just mark all that column out and write it there. Yeah, just mark that. Put it over, put LP1. Just put the new number.
That's the whole, this section, right?
All of those say they have circled micro one. Yeah. And for those that have circled something else, these are the say that's 0931. That's biology 112. And that is 0931. And it's always the LP1. Yeah, do that one. All right, so that's incubation according to the optimum temperature, and then pick one of these phrases. Is there anyone that's confused?
I just have a question about the first part when you said your test question. There were 7. I'm just wondering what the 7th one is.
Negative.
You have
Positive with gas, positive without. Fast positive with gas, fast positive without gas. That's 2.
Yeah.
Moderately fast positive with gas, moderately fast positive without gas. That's 4. Slow positive with gas, slow positive without gas. That's 6.
Okay.
Negative is 7.
Negative with.
Negative with nothing.
Okay.
You can't
Negative.
make gas.
Okay.
Except alcoholic, which makes it the 8.